everybody, welcome back to D7RTV, and you join us back on the MX5. Some of the eagle-eyed amongst you will probably notice that a bit more has happened, but we didn't film it. Why? One, I was flued up, still am, and two, my camera wasn't playing ball, so I'll do a little walk around and show you what we've done in the meantime. Right, so we've got a sill in place, and also the front section is now in place. That's all new metal. We've welded all that in. We've welded and fabricated new floor section here. I'm sorry we couldn't show you this, but it is what it is. When you've got no camera and it's not playing ball and you've got things to do, ain't nobody got time for that. Trying to mess around with cameras when I'm on someone else's payroll. So it is what it is, and we'll just show you what's going on. So that's all zinc primed. The inners have all been replaced. The new wing section's ready to go in now. And we're back onto the back section. You've probably seen in the previous video that this was cut on an angle. So what we've done is we've trimmed the bottom of the panel off and replaced it with a full square panel or rectangle, but it's square. So same height both sides. So we've got a big piece of copper behind here that we've clamped to the panel, and we're going to stitch it across, then linish it off. Then that should give us the difference we need, and the panel should be a lot better than what we started with. Just a little shot of the views. It's about 1 degree, and if you're wondering why it's so noisy and I struggle to film, it's because we're having that built, this apex section here. So that is why you'll hear hammering and banging and shouting and music and whatnot going on in the background. So yeah, it is what it is, and I try and film in between their hammering and banging, but I've still got to get work done, so it needs must. Well, that's this outer quarter section welded and linished, and it's a lot better and a lot closer to where we need it to be. And if you're wondering what the big copper block was for, it's to help dissipate the heat. And these things are like welded a Kit Kat wrapper. They're a little over 1/2 mil thick. It's about 0.8 thick, so it's really difficult to weld, so you can't linish off too much, but all this is getting a coating of stone chip anyway, so that is why. Give it a little linish on the inside. This is all going to be zinc prime now on the inside and ready to be welded into the car. Winning. We've got our panel now, it's all been zinc primed. We're going to start putting it up and seeing where we're going to clamp it together. Go somewhere around here. We need to get this panel to sit inside this one. And then we can start tacking her in. As you've seen before, once we start tackling it in place, we'll get the grinder and we'll make up the difference if it starts to sit a little bit flush. It really does not like welding galv. Thank you very much. It's a little crooked here, but the panel was crooked to start with. So hit one here. To bring that back a slight bit, get the grinder in there and cut that at a touch. It's pretty flush here, but still needs a little bit taken out. Better if I get my mask on. Not exactly the prettiest of welds, but you have to alternate the welds to aid with heat management. So you have to basically stitch it in all different areas. So that's why it looks like this, which is still better than some welding I see, but at least there's an excuse for this. So she's spot welded in there, it's been adjusted here. So that's got to be linished off. This needs linishing now. And yeah, she's not far away. Still got to Spot weld the bottom. Needs a bit of adjustment here because this is where the two bumps are for your actual jacking point. So we need to nip a little bit on there, so then we can push this up and then we can spot weld the bottom of this quarter panel in. Right, now she's all linished off. She should look something a little like this. Let the grinder do the work, don't be pressing in. So light work and just multiple passes, different areas. Try not to warp the panel and you should be somewhere like that. Easy work. So now we're going to put some zinc primer on there so she doesn't rust again, otherwise this will all be in vain. Got the die grinder out, I just massaged it in this little area here. Obviously there's going to be a little tiny bit of filler in, and then the stone chip be going on. Still got a couple of little bits here to linish off and a couple of holes in the sill to weld up, and we're on to the front. Woohoo! So that's the quarter panel welded in, another little job ticked off the list. As you can see, there's very minimal distortion in the panel. It's because I alternated where I tacked it in. It's all nice and flush down here. A little bit of seam sealer when it goes to the body shop. And yeah, job's a good one. All this line matches up perfectly. It's not on the piss, which it would have been if you just banged it straight in out the box. But this is what you aim to achieve. A little tiny bit of filler in here, stone chip over the top, look factory fresh. Winning. Right, so moving on, we've clamped the bottom wing panel to the wing or fender if you're in America. Just have to add that in. And we're gonna tack this on. There's gonna be a little bit of movement we need to do from here and there. We need to manipulate and twist it because it's not quite right. But we need to bang it in all the same. So hopefully this will tack. Gas is on. And there's your one. Then we're going to tack the back, try and get it flush. Easier said than done, so I put a clamp in the way. There or thereabouts. like so. And then we can remove the clamps. My hair on fire. Man, I hate welding galv. It's disgusting. The mild steel wire just sort of hits it and scoots off, and then it'll tack to wherever it wants to tack. It's not the best stuff to weld, but it is what it is. 90% of these panels come galvanized, and I think it's more for storage purposes than it is for doing you a favor. That's why we try and grind a lot of it off, because of how disgusting it is to weld. That's nice and flush here. I mean, it does weld, but it doesn't like it. We haven't got the luxury of getting the copper plate behind it on this one, because it's not going to sit behind there because of the curvature and the length of the copper plate. So we've basically got to manually feel it along, and we just got to take it super steady. We need to get the grinder and just trim a little tiny bit out of here. I thought we might be able to manipulate this a little bit up here, but maybe not. So we'll hit it with a tack and just get the cutting disc and just chop a little bit into there so we can tack the very end. But this middle section's really super close. This needs to come out a little bit. It's nice and flush there. So it's there or thereabouts. So yeah, let's get on with it. Right, so that's our panel tacked in, our lower piece. It's in the holes at the bottom of behind the sill section. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap. And the gap differentiates from the top to the bottom by about 3 or 4 mil. So that means that we need to weld these holes up. Get you in focus. So yeah, weld these holes up and move them over to the right a touch on both. This, we need a copper block so we don't penetrate through too much. And then we should be able to bring this panel over 5 mil. 5 mil should be the magic number, I'd imagine. But most people would leave it like this and go, yeah, jobs are good, but that's not us. So that's the holes welded up. This one's like an elongated hole. We know that needs to go across about 5 mil, and so does this one. So we'll linish this off, mark out new holes, directly 5 mil across from where we've just welded up. The copper plate stops it from bubbling through to the other side. It stops it dead. So it should be nice and flat on the back end. And yeah, let's linish it. Right, so at the back of here now, we've rested a block of wood and we've got an idea where we want to be. I can see the remnants of the old hole here. So I'm going to do a dot about 5 mil to the right of it, like we said. And then we're going to re-drill it. Slow and steady, slightly bigger hole than what we started with. Then it gives you a little bit more to manipulate where you want it to sit. Turns out it's a nice blunt drill bit to start the day, but hey ho. In the words of The Rock, it doesn't matter. There's our one hole. Careful not to drill your hand. And that's our 2 holes drilled. And now, with a bit of luck, we should be able to get where we need to be. There's one. Probably should have gone a little bit further in, but that's fine because we can manipulate the back edge a little. It's nice and tight on there. The door gap's a lot better. Yeah, just needs probably a little bit taken out of here again. Right, so a little bit of jiggery pokery and a bit of rework on the holes with a die grinder. We are now exactly where we want to sit, which is perfectly flush. This gets seam sealed down here. And the door shut line is consistent from top to bottom, and this is what we aim for. So now we've got to stitch all this together. You know the drill, so we'll come to you when we've done that.
I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits. Excuse me, I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, take a seat and excuse me. The crash came when the cash came. Spend it for you get it like those rookies all on draft day. For the love like it's match game. Hit the ground running, really do it for my last name. They act different when the facts change. I'm not with the tip for tag games. In my own league, I don't chase game. In my own league, I don't hang with lanes. I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits. Excuse me, I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, take a seat and excuse me. Now how could that be? Talking about who, can't be talking about me. Feeling like Stretch where I got all this reach. Feeling too blessed when I step on these beats. Now how could that be? I could beat the pressure, I could beat the 2-3. Jab, jab, hook, then I duck and I weave. It was never you, it was me versus me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been.
Well, that's the bottom section of the wing. Fender. Welded in, linished and zinc primed. You probably saw in a video zinc primed up behind the back where the welds would have been exposed. So that's all protected now. All lines up. You can see our shut line is perfect. You can see this line across here is perfect and jobs are good. Right, so bought the car outside, phase one's done, sills done, front's done, front wing's done, and the car's ready to get turned around now on the ramp and start phase two, winning. That's going to be it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed everything so far. We're going to start phase two now, which is the passenger side, that side. We've spun the car around as we've mentioned, and we're not going to bore you with rinse and repeat. It's going to be exactly the same amount of work as we did on this side. This side's complete. So we're going to be cutting out, welding everything back up on the passenger side. Then all we've got to do is seam seal, under seal, then lanolin guard underneath. So enjoyed watching. Watch the rest of the episodes. Have a look at all the other stuff we've done as a bit of a filler. We've got the other MX5 to do, and that is the middle rails, and we'll be showing you what we're doing on that. Then that one's got to have the same, it's got to be under sealed and whatnot, under body protection. Then both of these cars are off the paint. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.